Hello, everyone. Our guest today is Mr. Eric Olsen, the CISO of Rakuten. Hi, Eric. Thank you for being with us and for your willingness to share your experience. Our guests in this webinar are telcos around the world, like Rakuten Mobile. So first, I would like you to introduce Rakuten Mobile, maybe touch Rakuten Symphony, and a couple of words about yourself and your professional journey and current role.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Mark, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar. Hopefully most of you know Rakuten Mobile is the fourth MNO in Japan, where we operate our fully virtualized cloud-native network. Our mission is to provide high quality and secure mobile services at a low cost. We're going into the new year with we just crossed 6 million subscribers. And we're looking at strong growth and momentum going into next year as customers are looking to cut the cost of their bill, as well as leverage additional synergies with the Rakuten Group ecosystem. About myself, I'm actually coming from banking, where I've spent about the last 8 or 9 years before joining Rakuten Mobile in 2021. I joined Rakuten as the head of the Cyber Defense Operations Center, where I ran the Security Operations Center, our digital forensics team, security assurance teams, detection engineering teams, et cetera. Basically anything that has to do with the operations, cybersecurity operations. And then recently I took over as CISO in March of this year, where we've been continued to execute on our cybersecurity strategy. And it's been a really great learning experience.
Great. Okay. Can you describe how you see the current security threats landscape in Japan, and whether you believe it's, let's say, more localized or global and similar to other regions in the world? And also, are there any specific changes in the nature of the attack during the last 2023 year?
Yeah, so look, in the context of Japan, they're the third largest economy in the world. They're a very wealthy country. They develop a lot of intellectual property. So I think they're absolutely a target of financially motivated attackers, espionage, as well as attackers that are just looking for notoriety. So I think in terms of the attacks that are observed here, they're very similar to what one would see in Europe or the U.S. In specific attacks against the telco networks, I think I think you're starting to see the networks actually being leveraged as attack. They can leverage the telco networks as attacks, right? And so you have, for instance, a lot of IoT devices that are sitting, or even the UEs that can be used due to the substantial amount of bandwidth available. And I think the interesting thing is, the networks themselves are being used to attack others, which will likely continue to grow. I mean, we've got the 5G networks are relatively they're heterogeneous in general. You've got both the virtual networks, the cloud networks. You've got physical networks. Each one of these is a different attack surface, and each attack surface has different types of attacks. And so, on the plus side, I guess we see a lot of attacks, so we can learn from those and continue to build additional preventative and detective measures and secure our customers.
So there are different approaches on the market for network protection, cloud-based, inline like Allot, or offline and sampling-based solutions. Why the inline approach of network protection was selected by Rakuten?
Yeah, so we really wanted to take a lot of the decision making out of the analyst's mind, right? So how can we protect first and then ask questions later? That doesn't work on every single network. However, when it came to how we wanted to take the approach for protecting ours, specifically from either inbound or outbound DDoS, we wanted to mitigate, scrub the traffic first, and then ask questions later. And so I guess it was everyone has their different risk approach to how they want to take proactive measures. And we made the decision to again put it in line so we could scrub attacks as we see them.
Okay, so I guess full proactiveness and automation, of the protection, right?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got you. Okay. And what components of Allot network protection are deployed in Rakuten? Do you believe they are actually and actively helping Rakuten to overcome the current threat landscape?
Yeah, I mean, so we have the HBAD feature and the NBAD feature, so both the host-based and network-based anomaly detection. Yeah, they both serve their purposes. As I mentioned, we can proactively mitigate threats as they're coming into the network. They're both continuously learning traffic behind the scenes. They've got their ML, they're profiling the traffic, they're learning new patterns, etc. And when it deviates from the pattern, then it'll proactively block. And so I think definitely we're able to mitigate these attacks while simultaneously providing a quality of experience to all the critical network services as the network's operating.
And if you will look a little bit forward, what do you think the future security challenges Rakuten network, will face, and Allot solution will need to address?
Yeah, so I think one of the areas that we've been discussing with you all is how can we have sort of real-time signature, how can we add real-time signature detection for prevention into the product as well. So what I mean by that is how can we, for instance, set up an iPhone, an Android, emulator farm where we're intentionally infecting these devices with malware that's out there, some commodity, really anything that we want to both classify from a traffic perspective, and then install it, on these devices, look at the traffic, see what type of signatures we could potentially generate, and then we can be even more proactive and implement preventative measures into the solution for things that we may not even see on our network, right? So if for instance, there's some malware that's specific to Taiwan or the US or really anywhere, it may just not reach us yet. As we all know, some of these criminal gangs, they'll target a certain area, and then eventually that will shift over to another area. And so, I think that would be something that would be an excellent feature for us to have and look at collaborating together.
Great, Eric. We'll definitely consider that for our roadmap. So, Eric, again, thank you very much for your time and for sharing your valuable insights with the audience. And I'm confident it will contribute to building, more accurate and scalable network protection solutions worldwide. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you.